Hello friends, how are you? I'm Regan Barassa. I'm known on Instagram as Pace My Heart, but here I consider this Pace Your Heart, where we talk about different things that mainly I'm experiencing that maybe you can relate to, and we figure out how to pace our hearts through life's challenges and joys and all the good things. Today I'm in Los Angeles and I'm set up a little bit differently. For whatever reason today, there's a lot of background noise, so I've tried putting some piano music in the background to dull it a little bit. One of the things that is being done is a lot of the exterior of the buildings are being washed off from all the ash due to the fires. So yeah, it just is what it is. And here as well, people have TVs in their backyard and someone's watching TV really loud. Plus we have roosters in this neighborhood, which has been a bit to get used to because they can be real chatty, but then right now they're actually pretty quiet. So yeah, this is just different culture. You get used to different things, different noises, that's for sure. Where I'm at is in an area called City Terrace, which is about a 20-25 minute Uber ride to Beverly Hills, which is where I had surgery almost 9 days ago. I came out of surgery last Friday night. It was about 8 hours long. My heart seemed to handle it all pretty well. We were over time maybe a little bit. I think he'd hoped to be more in the 6-7 hour range, but he did what needed to be done. And we removed 8 pounds of skin. I've shared some of those, most of those pictures on Instagram. But I'll tag some of them at the end of this video if you haven't seen them there. And then there were little sticks in that picture of the skin removed too, and they were 6 inches long. So it just kind of gives you an idea. And this was just skin removed from my stomach. So I had what was called a fleur-de-lis, where they go down centrally and then also hip to hip. It just gives them a little bit more, pliability to kind of pull it in and tighten things. For me as well, because I've had several heart surgeries, I had a lot of scarring from different drainage tubes, and he was able to remove those and sort of tie in those scars. I've always said I wasn't really looking for perfection, just trying to clean things up a little bit and make my health a little bit better. For me, I had quite a big hanging pouch of skin. So as a person that has osteoarthritis, particularly in my low back and my right hip, I struggle with quite a bit. So we thought this could give me a lot better functionality and less pain in my life. And I would have to say, so far that seems quite true. I've not been very active, and usually my back would act up a little bit, and so far it's so busy working on healing all the other places. I don't think that's been an issue at all. I've been off pain medication pretty much since the 3rd day of surgery. I did still take one medication for some nerve pain, but I've been off that as well for a couple of days. So I'm just on extra strength Tylenol. I'm not super comfortable though, I'll be really honest. There's a lot of garments that I have to wear for a period of time. So I thought I would just show you those since I have extras. So I wear what looks like basically an old granny sports bra, nothing super exciting, zips up the front. So that's my first layer. And then after that, I put on a tank top because the next piece can be a bit of a pain. So this is a foam vest that I wear. So this sits underneath my breasts and then wraps down to my pubic area, basically, and then it velcros at the back as tight as I can get it. And as you can imagine, it's not super comfortable. But I thought I had to keep this on for 4 weeks, and I'm pretty sure that I heard I get to take it off this coming Friday. So that'll be wonderful. I'll be real happy to get rid of that one. And then the last garment that I wear is called a compression garment. And it's basically like I guess a granny, like a granny Spanx, I guess you would call it. It kind of, you can see it's like a tank top style, and it goes under the crotch and it velcros. And I'm already at this point on the tightest strip here. So we had a hard time getting this one to fit for me because it goes based on your height and your size, basically. And for my height, I'm actually fairly short torsoed, and I have longer legs. So this, kind of crotch piece just really bunched and jabbed my legs. So we did a lot of, we call it MacGyvering, if you ever watched that show back in the day. So we cut off all this lace on the one that I'm wearing now, and then we cut little slits in so that there was a little bit more give, and that has made it more comfortable. But like I said, I'm just about to size out of this one. So today my massage therapist brought me a different style of one to take to my surgeon's office tomorrow, to see if this might be a good one for me. So this one is basically a one piece that includes a bra area, but also has a bit of a short to it. So she thinks that might work a little bit better. And the other thing we're struggling with the foam particularly is because I'm curvy, I'm hourglass figured. To get it tight through my hips just seems to make it lift a little bit at the pubic area, so it doesn't hold things quite as tight there, so I get a bit of fluid buildup. So she thinks maybe this might be a better solution. So we'll see. I'll take that into the surgeon's office. They did say that this week we'd have to look at switching garments anyways, and there'd be options to choose from on Amazon as well as what they have. And she's so awesome, she brought me like a catalog to look through. So yeah, I'll figure that out. The biggest thing I'm looking forward to tomorrow is to have my drains removed. So I'll try not to gross you out, but see if I can show you one. So these basically, I have one of these drains coming out of each hip, and these fill with fluid, and until the last couple of days they needed to be milked, so you had to get the fluid out of the cord or whatever, and then you drained it and you measured the output. So now I'm down to just draining them one time a day. But as you can imagine, they have these little clip things. They never stay clipped on. When I was in Beverly Hills with my girlfriend last week for a doctor's appointment, I had hoped I might get them out, but it was too early. And we were in a very nice restaurant, and I got up to pay the bill because in the States they don't do tap, and I had to do a PIN because I was out of country, and my drains came flying out from underneath my clothes in this very nice restaurant. So I'm quickly trying to gather them and tuck them in. The waitress seemed nonplussed about the whole thing, but yeah. Anyways, it'll be very good to get rid of some of the layers and the drains and some less activity, that's for sure. And I had a couple down days this week where I didn't feel Super great. Just it's quite a regime that Dr. Galanis has of medications and supplements, and yeah, just for me with my very sensitive gut, I got heartburn, which my reflex med couldn't get a hold of, and then I got a yeast infection from the multiple antibiotics. I'm on 2 antibiotics prophylactically until next Friday, which, normally I wouldn't be a super fan of, but he is a man who follows the science and he believes it works. And it's one thing that I've really seen a lot of patients can struggle with post plastic surgery. In fact, I've had 3 or 4 ladies reach out from back home where I'm from in Calgary that have had ongoing infections. So anyways, I'll do whatever I can to definitely avoid that, and a yeast infection, as all of us ladies know, are very easily treated. They're just a pain in the vag. That's what we'll say. But my time here is going really well. We spent an extra day in the surgery aftercare center. It just felt like there was still quite a bit to learn, and I needed a little bit more strength to transition. The Airbnb that I chose, I knew it had quite a few steps. They had said that, they showed some pictures, but not the full extent of it. So I have 45 steps to get from the street to get up here to the house. So yeah, I needed to be ready for that, and I was struggling with some vertigo, so not ideal to be climbing that many stairs if you've got vertigo. So it was a really good choice, because by the time we came home, I think my girlfriend felt very comfortable knowing what I needed for care, and I was strong enough to really take more things on my own, and knew I could sleep comfortably and that type of thing. It'll be a while before I can sleep totally on my back, or even without being elevated. So I'm a side sleeper, which is probably better than people who sleep on their stomach, but still would keep me pretty centered in pillows and stuff, so that I don't move around. And I'm not a really active sleeper, so it's not too hard. But I've stuck to the couch here, it's a little higher than the low profile bed, and I utilize all the pillows to be comfortable during the day, so it would be a bit of a rigmarole to move it to the bed at night. So minor in the whole scheme of things. I'm quite comfortable. This couch is very comfy. So it's worked, but I'm not gonna lie, by the time I go home, I'll be ready to be in a bed again and kind of have that, I don't know, just even separate viewing during the day, that type of thing. But I've been showering every day on my own, and I mentioned I have a massage therapist. So Dr. Galanis's protocol is starting day 2 that you have lymphatic massage. It helps release some of the fluid which otherwise can build around your heart, which with me, especially being a heart patient, is not quite ideal. And I didn't get it arranged until day 3. I was a day late. It's, as you can imagine, had been a little bit chaotic here with the fires, but I just really hadn't gotten on it, and the couple I had called didn't service the area where my Airbnb is, and they come to you, which is very convenient. So anyways, we got it going just a day later, and it's been fantastic, and I feel like I've made a new friend. She's been awesome, and now she checks on me every day since I'm on my own. My girlfriend who came and helped look after me for the first week and a bit is headed home, but still texting me multiple times through the day, which is lovely. And I've got a fully stocked fridge, and yeah, I've just settled in here. We had done one nice walk one day, which was like 45 minutes long, but I'm in a very hilly area, and Dr. Galanis said that's kind of a no-go. Just that puts a little bit more pressure on my heart. Activity is good, but just not that much exercise for me quite yet. So yeah, I've slowed it down and taking it a little bit more easy, and I think that's probably helped me perk up a little bit too. And maybe it's really hard. You just want to think that you can push through and move the process along faster, and that's just not the case. I'm going to be probably 8 weeks until I can resume quote unquote normal activities, but of course I'm going to have to rebuild my fitness and that type of thing. And then results from this surgery will take 6 months to a year, honestly, to fully kind of realize. It takes a long time for your body to shift and make the changes. I did get a breast lift and implants, quite modest. They're not big by any stretch. I just wanted to kind of restore some of the volume, and if we had just done a lift, I really would have been left without any breasts. And if you know anything about plastic surgery, they are doing fat transfers to breasts, but they tend to be very unpredictable still at this point in the technology of it, I guess you would say. They can be quite lumpy. Sometimes they get reabsorbed different ways. So anyways, just not a good choice for me. I needed a little more volume than that. So I can't tell you exactly. One breast, I think we read on the card, he put in a 280cc implant, and the other one is a 300cc, which is basically like a C cup, but I had a little bit of tissue there. So I would say I'm a little smaller than what I was when I was folding my boobs literally into a padded bra, but that's okay. I mean, I don't want to be an elderly lady with really big boobs, and that was not a goal of mine. So I think this is good. I think we've got a pretty good proportion. And the reason for the different sizes is, as most women, we're slightly asymmetrical, so he just fixed that a little bit. And I had one nipple, I don't think I had even ever really noticed, was just slightly turned out a little bit, so he said he was going to fix that at the same time, because they excise your nipples and move them. And I haven't even seen them without tape yet, so I think that all the tape, I'm not sure if it'll get removed tomorrow or if that will be at a later appointment in the week, but yeah, I'll see. I got on my appointment last week, he removed the gauze and the stitching from my belly button, but it just looks like one big healing wound at this time. My massage therapist assures me he does very cute belly buttons, and this one's no different. And I do agree, I've seen a lot of his belly buttons and they're great. I've never seen one that didn't turn out perfectly, so I trust, well, it doesn't look like anything right now, it will in time. So we'll wait and see how that turns out. And yeah, I'm pretty amazed with where I'm at already, to be honest. To think I'm not quite 9 days past surgery, and to be, even in a garment that has changed. I'm trying to show you again, from being buttoned at the loosest to already be tightened here. That's pretty big changes in a short period of time. And also just my ability to fend for myself and look after myself. I'm still tired. I still nap a couple of times a day for sure, but it's not quite like it was at the beginning. Joanna would say she'd just kind of look at me, and I would be, if I had my glasses on and was trying to read something, she said it was like my whole body just powered down and I was out. So now I sense it a little bit more. I can at least, put my phone down or take my glasses off or what have you. So that's good. I've really worked a lot on healthy eating. I am a healthy eater, but Dr. Galanis really wanted me to work on eating a lot of pineapple for the bromelain. I spoke about that a little bit on Instagram. It's a valuable healing enzyme, reduces inflammation, as well as tomatoes. They have similar healing properties and are great for inflammation in your body. So two foods I really like, so it's not a hard one for me to do. And yeah, I my days, they just fly. I wake up every day at 5 a.m. pretty much. I'm not sure if I can thank the roosters for that, or that's just my natural body at this point, but I usually get up, go pee, and come back, read for an hour, and then I go back to sleep for an hour and a half. That's kind of my routine. And now I'm choosing from some of the different meals that Joanna's left me, or ideas for meals, and pulling those together and managing my medication. But we're down to just probably a third of where I was for medication, so it's much simpler. We had quite the spreadsheet going of when I took different things, and we were having to drain these drains multiple times a day, and like I said, now I'm down to doing it just once a day, so it's not like it's difficult at all. But everything just takes me longer. I'm not strong. Well, I am strong, but I don't have tons of energy yet, I guess is where I'm at. And I guess I can see how it's going to take me a little bit of time, a couple of months, to probably get back fully into the swing of regular life. I have appointments and such when I get back that first week, and I've lined my mom up to drive me. I think legally I could probably drive, but I'm still pretty tired, so I wouldn't want to be driving when I feel, less than aware, I guess, would be the best way to put it. And I would say this is probably one of the more difficult recoveries I've had. Being my 18th surgery, I have a lot of experience with it. I can tell you, Joanna thought, the first day or two, like, ooh, is she gonna be able to do this? But, even by day 3 or 4, when I have my feet under me a little bit better, she was like, oh yeah, we can get this going. This is gonna work out. And same thing, my massage therapist, she said she kind of she's had a tummy tuck and lipo to her body, but nothing as invasive or as altering as what I've had. And she's like, I was such a big baby in comparison to you. She's like, I did nothing for like 2 months. She said, you're doing things I didn't do for at least a month. And not because I'm pushing myself by any stretch. It's just kind of who I am. I like to be independent, and I knew that I could very well do this second week on my own, because I didn't have anybody firmly lined up to help. Had a few potential offers, but anyways, it just didn't work out. My mom got sick, my daughter is sick and awaiting a job offer, and yeah, just a multitude of things. It just didn't turn out the way it was meant to be, and that's fine, because I am doing well on my own, and I can't do anything super exciting. So it's a lot of money right now to come to California with the fires. Like, I think my mom was looking at the flights, and I think for her to come regular was more than double what I paid for premium when I booked back last fall. Like, it's just crazy expensive. So yeah, I just wouldn't want anyone to spend that kind of money just to come hang out with me when I'm quite capable of looking after myself, but can't do anything super fun. So no, it's the way it's gonna be. My massage therapist is lovely, and she's offered to come the morning that I need to leave the Airbnb just to do some tidy up around here and pack my suitcase and make sure I'm all ready, and she'll clean out my fridge and take the food and all the rest, and then load my suitcases into the Uber for me. And I've booked a porter on both ends at the airport, so I'll be one of those people wheeling around in a wheelchair. I'm sure people will give me funny looks because I'll look generally fine at that point, especially without my fun drains. But it is what it is. People need what they need at certain times, so it'll be fine. My girlfriend said it was very cold when she landed in Calgary yesterday, so I'm not looking forward to that. Today, it's funny, the high here is 17, which feels chilly, so I'm wearing a sweatshirt and full sweatpants because it's cold. So I know I'm in for a pretty good shock. We're back into 20s, I think, by end of this week, so I guess I'll get to enjoy that before I come home and freeze my butt off. But I'll be having pretty quiet life there still for another 6 weeks anyways, so a good time to cozy up by the fire for sure. Haven't done any real shopping here. We did Trader Joe's because I needed more underwear. As you can imagine, I came in small underwear because my skin was very pliable, but I'm going home in large underwear because I don't like any type of pulling or restriction. So we just bought me a handful of underwear to get me through, and I know it won't last long. I'll be throwing them out in no time, but I just wanted to be comfortable for now. And come the 6-week mark, I think I can switch to kind of snugger bralettes. So it'll be a while. I think they recommend, not even investing much for bras until 6 months, I think. I think you can't even wear underwear anyways, or not underwear, underwire. I'm not going commando, don't worry everybody. Anyways, that's about all I have to share. I guess I've had a great experience. I've had great caretakers. I've had great nurses. My surgeon has been fantastic. I mean, he got displaced from his home with his wife and his 1-year-old the Wednesday before my surgery on Friday, and I had no idea. He didn't even share it with me, and he didn't get to go home until Sunday. And yet, I felt like a priority. There was never a moment where I felt unsupported or, he called and checked on me and answered questions and all the rest. And really, it's amazing how people just support people regardless of what's going on. And he's said for him, staying focused on, helping his patients and doing what needs to be done helps them get through tough times, because while they have been fortunate that their house is untouched, they of course have friends who lost everything, and I'm sure that's agonizing to go through. We do have that experience in Alberta, but for the most part it's been smaller centers, so something of this magnitude is pretty hard to wrap your brain around. 180,000 people displaced. That's no small amount of people that need to find housing and rebuild their lives. So I feel very grateful that in this turbulent time here, I had people who just really looked after me and cared about me, from nurses to healthcare aides to massage therapists to my surgeon to office staff. Really, they just looked after me even in a hard time for them, because they all recognize that this has been a very big moment that I've worked towards, and they want me to have a good experience. And I can never probably say thank you enough to all the people that have been involved. Yeah, so I hope I've answered many of your questions. I've tried to think through the whole experience that I've had to date. I guess my advice would be, if you've never had major surgery, don't take my experience as a typical one. I've had enough surgeries and major surgeries that I know things that work for me, and I know for my mental health, things like showering every day, eating well, all those things work. Even when I don't feel like doing it, I do what I need to do. And that's something that can be hard if you've never experienced it before. So I would say that most people probably need a 24/7 caregiver for several weeks. It's fairly probably unusual that someone would go through something like I have and be on their own successfully this soon. So I'm not a barometer to measure yourself by. It's just a lot of life experience that brought me to this place. And I could frankly have done that without some of that life experience. But anyways, we're where we're at, and I'm on a road to regain at least part of my body, and I'm quite excited about that. And I'll continue to share the rest of this experience while I'm here in LA and what we get done. Send me some good vibes for tomorrow. I really want to get these drains out. That would be one piece of the puzzle I'd be happy to let go of, for sure. And if you've had if you've had any kind of surgery with drains, you know what I'm talking about, but I'm sure you can imagine. Anyways, go out there, pace your heart, enjoy life, do all the things that I can't do quite yet, but I can hardly wait to get back out in the world and do. We'll see you soon. Have a good Sunday. Thanks for joining.